Hey guys, Chris Kirby here, founder of Insane Imports and owner-operator here at Best Damn Powder Coating. We're getting ready to dive into the process of removing the old engine and transmission out of our 95 Honda Acty and putting in a K24 out of a 2001 Accord. We recently went down to Driver Motorsports and we put this bad boy on the dyno with the stock motor in it. We just wanted to see what it would do, honestly, and she didn't disappoint. We put out 20 horsepower and 44 foot-pounds of torque, simultaneously blowing the head gasket, leaving nothing left but a white cloud of smoke and just a little truck that wasn't happy anymore. We got it back home, got it to the shop, and that's when we decided that we weren't even going to mess around with trying to fix that little motor. We were going to shelf that one for now, and we're putting the K24 in here. It was at that point that I caught wind that Josh the tuning wizard at Driver Motorsports was also planning a build for his little truck. Once I heard this, I knew that we had to get together and do a key truck build off. This is a friendly competition between me and Josh. I have nothing but the utmost respect for the guys at Driver Motorsports. I'm a customer of theirs. I've bought several right-hand drive cars. They pump out nothing but quality JDM vehicles. If you haven't heard of them, then go check them out. They're a really good group of guys. But Josh is going to do his thing, I'm going to do my thing, and at the end of all of this, we're going to get the trucks together at Driver Motorsports, and we're going to have a fan favorite competition. That means everyone that shows up and wants to participate comes and votes on their favorite truck, and you guys get to decide who wins. None of my friends, none of his friends, no crossing employees, nothing like that. It's going to be for you guys to decide which truck is the coolest. And that's the competition, is who can build the coolest little truck. I hope you guys enjoy the footage that you see, and I hope you tune in and continue to watch and see the progress that we make for the K Truck Challenge. Good luck, Josh. SOS.
Here we go.
We're doing it. We're really doing it. Sorry, truck. Sorry about your luck. That one wasn't tight. Looks like someone's been messing around in here. You know what I'm starting to realize, Adam? This thing's pretty tiny, like the truck's obviously tiny. But look at the size of the K-swap going in here.
Oh my goodness.
Compared to this little guy.
So it looks like we're gonna do some cutting.
Oh, we're gonna do a lot of cutting. Adam, how far do you think that would roll?
Well, let's see.
Let's see. Go, baby. Go, baby, go. Dumpsters? Are we gonna get dumpster?
Let's go into the woods.
No, we go left. Oh, that's gonna hit somebody's car. Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah, what if it would have turned left?
It could have turned left. All right, so in the process of just disconnecting the coolant lines and stuff, and I've never seen this before in my life. When I pulled that coolant line from that side and the hose comes in like that.
Motor's cold.
Motor's cold, thank God. But Adam was over here doing his thing and it like velocity fired out of this hose like it was under more pressure than I've ever seen. And Adam, stand up.
The quickest way to drain coolant out of the motor I've ever seen.
Use your shirt and your friend. But I thought that was noteworthy. I mean, we got a mess under here now. But just how far it shot. Like, you could see where the drain pan's at.
We You can only laugh.
And I disconnected the hose so that it would drain into the pan. And the only reason that it stopped right here is because that's where Adam was laying.
Yeah.
And that's our barrier.
Yep.
Thanks, buddy.
Who needs a drain pan?
We don't need a drain pan. You got Adam.
There you go.
When you forget your sawzall and your cutting wheel.
Should be the last thing to hold this motor in.
You got it, Brian.
Blue what?
It's moving a lot, that's all.
Oh.
Lift it up a little bit. Lift it up.
Yeah, is it fine?
All right.
So close.
We're so close to victory.
You got a heat shield you're going through. You got about a half an inch for the heat shield. Oh yeah, so close. He's gassed. Here, let me finish.
He's gassed. It was this or drive 4 minutes home to go get a power tool, and for some reason this is what we chose.
My pleasure. Oh, I shouldn't have kicked you off, sorry.
It's okay. Officially on the ground. All right, so we got the motor out. We don't have any footage of it. It took 3 of us to drag it out from the side. As we were dragging it out, it was kind of sketchy, so we couldn't take the time to stop, grab the camera, but we did get it out. Sorry you missed it, but it would have been a hazard to have stopped at any point during that pull, so we didn't. There it is. We got the motor out. It's on the ground. We're gonna go ahead and stick that rear axle back up in there. It'll be a roller again, and that'll be about it for the day. So we're back on Sunday, day 2. Yesterday we got the motor out. We were not gentle. We cut that bad boy out. Actually a lot easier than trying to get 30-year-old rusted head studs, exhaust manifold studs out. It was the easy button. I liked it. Today we're just gonna go ahead and clean up the engine bay. Get all this old junk out that we're not gonna be using anymore. That giant dust shield, heat shield, whatever. Get this old rattly exhaust pulled off. You guys have no idea the rattling that this old exhaust did in its day. It was really something. Found out that the axles actually help support the wheel bearing on these. This is a really weird wheel bearing setup. Like the actual spline itself is in the outer casing of the drum, and then it sits on 2 bearings in there. So without the axle, it doesn't want to spin. It's super weird. And I found out the hard way.
we're gonna keep on at it. All right. And our lovely assistant Adam's returned and is leaving us to go work on his own stuff. You gotta respect that.
Bye, Martha.
We almost got the exhaust out. Yeah, this ugly little air box. Yeah. We got that loose. We cut through the exhaust yesterday, so that's obviously loose. It is attached to nothing. Right there. We are 2 rubber hangers away from having this out. And that's going to make so much more room for activities in there. We also got the big doo-doo heat shield that ran across here out, so that's good. I don't think we're going to end up using the old speed sensor. I don't know much about K-Series yet. This will be my first time, but obviously the chances of it having something like this are slim to none. I think that's D-Series, B-Series stuff. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that everything on the K transmission is going to be electrical. It's the old throttle. I think this may be the old throttle. No, this is the old throttle because it went down in there. Also doubt we'll be using that. Maybe we can tie into it somehow. I don't know. But as we move forward, we're getting more and more room. I hope by the end of the day that all this is cleared out. Got this really strange axle style on these. On the Acties, there's 2 bearings that the axle rides on inside of here. And I may have gone over this already, I can't remember. But it is super tight to get that back in there. And I'm really curious how we're gonna manage to tie in a K-Series on this end and then an Acty outer like this. Honestly, that's my biggest concern. Not really concerned, but that's going to be one of the biggest pieces of the puzzle because anybody can really cut a hole, fab up some motor mounts, and get them in there. Making a wiring harness isn't all that tough either. We got 2 separate harnesses for the new motor. So, I mean, it's just the engine side. So that shouldn't be that hard, honestly. But getting the axles in and getting all that straight, that's going to be the challenge. But we're up to the challenge. We're going to get it done. Woo! So I gotta say, my hat's off to the Acty exhaust design team from 1980 whenever. Y'all really put that son of a gun in there. For real, like there's like 9 different hoses and vacuum lines, recirculation valves, and the intake setup for the engine's actually attached to it. Yeah, it's impressive. Thanks, guys. All right, so I gotta say that this is the most complicated muffler exhaust setup that I've ever seen in my life. I'm pretty sure that that is the airbox for the actual engine itself. Looks like an airbox to me. Got your little intake tube. Now, they managed to do something, the recirculating system on this, I guess, where it actually runs into the muffler or the muffler housing. Hopefully, they're completely separate in there. I have no way of knowing. I am not diving in. Honda crammed a lot into a very small amount. I mean, I guess we'd call that a resignator. Definitely not catalytic converter worthy. But I mean, just in this small amount of area, like this is where the header comes right into, right off the motor. And it runs into there. We've got a recirculating system of sorts. You got your muffler intake, but there's a lot going on with this little exhaust, and I am not going to miss it at all. All right, next up, we're dropping the fuel tank. The fuel tank's fine. I think that I can reuse it for what we're doing. These trucks are basically, they're not an in-tank pump. It's an out tank pump, I don't know. So it's basically a fuel cell anyways, I guess, I think, maybe. I have a little fuel cell at the house. I'm trying to avoid using it. If I can just get this out and maybe have to make the line openings a little bigger, clean it up, that would be nice. We are going to be going through pretty much the entire truck as far as like the paint, and these bars are very corroded. When you bring in a 25, 30-year-old little Acty truck, they're pretty much throwaway cars to the Japanese, I think. I mean, obviously some people over there really take care of them and hook them up, but for the most part, I feel like these things are used on farms and to transport stuff back and forth. So we can get a really good deal on them, but when they come in, they're not in great shape. Mine has a good bit of surface rust. It's not so far gone that it can't be saved. I don't even want to say that because the truck is really awesome, but it does have its issues. So seeing as how we do own and operate a powder coating shop, and I am capable of shooting wet paint, we are going to dive into that later on in this build. Not right now, but some people are going to be like, why are you pulling the fuel tank out? You know, it's not going to interfere, but we're going to redo the fuel tank. We're going to try to clean it up and powder coat it, and nothing less, give it a refreshing and give it a fresh paint. But we're just trying to get to a point right now where the truck is completely stripped down and ready to be prepped for everything else that has to be done to it. We're going to try to keep it simple. I really hate the fact that I'm going to leave this thing leaf spring. Doing anything else at this point is going to drag it out so far that it won't get done in a decent amount of time. So stick with me. We're going to get this thing cleaned up, get it prepped for some pretty stuff, maybe include you guys in color selections. Let's get that fuel tank out. All right, gas tank is out. Oops, let's not do that. What do you think, Martha? Martha's hot. That's Martha's destroyed cardboard. I cleaned that up, by the way. She just, Martha's something of a menace around here. So, you get used to it. All right, so earlier statements of being able to use this for the K swap, I think I'm already eating those words. So this is the main fuel line, this little guy. I don't have exceptionally large hands, and you can see by comparison that this fuel line is very tiny. So I'm not confident that we're going to be able to use this gas tank. Also, I don't know if it's worth modifying. I have a 10 or 15 gallon fuel cell at the house just sitting there waiting. I was going to use it on my Integra, but I decided to go a different direction with it. So I think that we're just going to use a fuel cell now. I don't know if it's going to fit underneath there. I'll have to check. It might. It wouldn't look horrible sitting right there loud and proud. Powder coated some badass color with really nice black nylon braided lines coming out of it, rolling into a beefy K motor. But that's to be seen. I think the last thing that we really got to get out of here that's large, go ahead and drop the spare tire and the whole spare tire assembly. But aside from some lines and stuff, this thing, God, look how twisted up that tire is. I just noticed that. Seen better days. Seen better days. I bet money that that is the spare tire that probably came, actually, I don't know. Is this the spare tire that it came with? Let's check it out. It's a Goodyear. It's old Steely. I'm gonna get this out and I'm gonna check the year on it because they should have a manufactured year on this tire. I'm curious to see if this is the one that came with the truck.
All right, so wrapping up Sunday, day 2. It's 1 o'clock now. I kind of have to stop working on the truck. This is actually my powder coating shop, so I have to get all this mess cleaned up. So when we get here tomorrow, this can be a workable area again. But we did pretty good, I think, for, a day and a half. And it was fun. Me and my buddy had fun doing this. That's why we do it. Just really can't think of a time where I feel like, just I'm having a good time more than, oddly enough, stripping down an old piece of crap and stuffing an engine in it that shouldn't go in it. This is my happy place. This is what I like to do. I have vehicles that I piddle with now, but they're mostly finished up. For the most part, I got one that I'll show you all later. It's a huge thorn in my side, but this is just this nice to get back to this every once in a while. Affordable project. You hope it works out. It's probably going to, but if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world. But we're going to get through this swap. Just wanted to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on the next one.